Welcome, everyone, to another episode of BizzTalk, where we discuss hot topics in the event industry. I'm Jason Schuster, our host, representing BizzTech. I am our VP of Business Development, and with me today is Candice Bakke, who is the Director of Partnerships for Member Suite. And I've gotten a chance to get to know Candice over the last few weeks. She's actually really fun. We get along. I think cut from a similar cloth, so this should be a pretty fun show. Candice, thanks for being here. And our topic today is 3D for memorable experiences, which will absolutely make sense shortly. But for now, Candice, thank you for being here. Can you tell the audience just a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, what you're doing now, the whole nine yards?
Well, thanks for having me, Jason. It's been, also a pleasure getting to know you and getting to know the BizzTech team. So, and as you said, I am the Director of Partnerships for Member Suites. And with that, we have this amazing line of event technology products from Event Farm. And so that's where we kind of created this beautiful partnership working together to deliver virtual events. So for the past 10 years, I have spent my life in on-site registration, event technology, you name it. And a little over a year ago, Event Farm brought me over here to really build out our event tech side partnerships. And then as the world changed, we all kind of said, okay, what do we do to make virtual a fun experience too? And yeah, that's been the joy of my last 12 months is how do we take it to the next level?
I love it. So you've been in events for a long time, like you said. This is not a new thing. So what's been the biggest adjustment going from traditional events to virtual?
Is how to make it fun, really, versus just us sitting here talking like this, but how do we celebrate? How do we interact? How do we communicate? And bringing that level of passion that, I have when I can run up, hug somebody, shake their hand. How do I still do that, in this virtual world and get your attendees to actually want to be there? So that's been the challenge. And, it's been a fun 12 months getting us there. So.
Okay. Well, when you say virtual, I mean, come on, Candice. Zoom calls are just as intimate as anything else, right? As an actual event. I'm kidding.
An event. No. So, hey, they are really great for when we just want to just one-on-one, this. Or if you just want to put information out there. But if you want an experience, you want something that's going to make people passionate, you've got to take it to the next level. And you've got to start looking at some of these 3D solutions that we're talking about today.
I love it. Well, maybe we can go a little deeper. So what's kind of the history behind Member Suite? I mean, how long has Member Suite been around? And I mean, before the Event Farm technology, I mean, what did the company look like before that?
Yeah, so great question, because Member Suite, what a lot of people don't know, is for a decade plus, they're an association management company. So we do a lot of business in the association world. We have a beautiful AMS platform, and that's what we did. But associations need events to thrive and to grow and to live. And so it was a very natural transition to acquire Event Farm because they have this wonderful engagement suite technology to allow you to communicate, allow you to build out these very unique in real life events. And now we've transitioned it to also address the virtual events too. So really kind of married all of it and allowed us to also kind of grow a corporate side of our business too, for all of that, the Fortune 500 and up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So kind of very diverse, but platform. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys acquired Event Farm, and I guess maybe for the audience who's not super familiar with it, what's Event Farm?
Sure. So Event Farm is an engagement suite, and it's a very broad topic, but looking at how do we communicate and guide an attendee's journey from a very branded experience. So if they're coming there, they're going to see your brand, your look, your feel from the time they get that invitation email to the time they land on site. And where on site doesn't matter. That could be at a convention center, or that could be in even a Zoom meeting, even though I'd rather it be in a 3D world. It needs to look like it's your experience. And you need to know, how are they engaging? How are you kind of guiding that communication? And that's really what, the Event Farm product suite does, is we're allowing you to really connect with your attendees, connect with your sponsors, your exhibitors, and most importantly, show value at the end. Did the attendees really enjoy being there? Did they learn something? Did your sponsors and exhibitors actually get a return on their investment? And that's really what we can do with, the Event Farm suite of products. So
that's cool. That's cool.
Very high level.
Very high level, very high level. I want to get a little bit more granular, and then I want to talk a little bit about why, and maybe I'd like you to expand on this a little bit more, just why 3D is the next step. Like, again, why wouldn't it be, why isn't it just a piece of software that's just managing the event? Why is 3D the next step? It's in what does 3D look like? But anyways, so open question there. What are your thoughts?
Sure. So let me, if you don't mind, I'm going to actually share my screen real quick, because
Sure.
I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. So 3D, when we're talking 3D, most people think, they still think very kind of one-dimensional, even though it is truly 3D. But this is my office. This is where a lot of days you'll find me sitting. But when we come in here, for you to walk up to me and me be able to wave and say hi to you, like that's important. To be able to walk up and shake your hand and to really interact with you, that's where, we're able to kind of grow that experience. For me to sit down with you and in a group of people and walk across the hall to your office, because we can see that right over there, be able to really engage with you. And then going into things like an expo hall. We can't go into an expo hall for different companies that you may have a global team that you're trying to get together right now. Nobody's traveling globally anymore, but to be able to walk into that expo hall and actually see and experience it. And, looking at, I'm going to pop around to a few places, looking at how you, celebrate, how you bring everyone together. And that's really the theme of what you'll hear within the platform, is we're really bringing people together. And, how do we get them to share ideas, grow, expand, celebrate, dance, and have that kind of unity? Again, if that helps make a little bit sense of why 3D versus this.
Right. No, this makes total sense. And so this is like a music hall, right? So
Yep.
that's like a stage, and people can come play music. And so, I mean, is 3D experiences, is it really limited to to the expo hall, to offices, or or like what else is possible for 3D?
To me, if you can dream it, we can almost achieve it. So, so just when you look at an expo hall, don't think expo hall. Think, okay, how can I come in and make this a business center? How can I come in and make this a shopping mall? During the holidays, we turned this into a scavenger hunt for kids. As they kind of came in, they saw Santa, and then they had those experiences. I've had colleges and universities come on the campus and do carnivals or sorority rushes in this hall. So that's when I say, like, don't let your imagination just kind of be stuck into, it's a business, it's an expo hall. Think of, t-shirt vendors, and you walk up and you order this, and next to it could be this arts and craft vendor, and holiday markets, you name it, and we can bring that to life within here.
Wow, I love it. Now, I guess, what's the difference in popularity, I guess, for a 3D type of event like this from, let's say, pre-COVID during COVID, and where do you see it going after COVID?
Yeah, great. I would love to have my crystal ball out. But what we're seeing is people were interested in this prior to, but they used it very structured from education or for what we call workplace services, meaning you have offices all over the globe and everybody had their own office, but they still felt like they were in one location. But they hadn't really thought about it from the event side of it. And now it took a little while for people to understand, but I feel like this is now becoming a part of the business plan and the business structure moving forward. And that's why I love this partnership with BizzTalk, because you guys special in this space as well. And what we're seeing is that people are seeing, okay, how can I address a global marketplace when we're located in London? And not everyone can get me here. And they're seeing that they can actually expand their footprint to their clients much quicker, much easier, and much more affordable by utilizing a platform like this. And it's going to be an extension of their in real life events. I feel like you're going to maybe see one, two of those huge conferences from, a major, Fortune 500 a year, and they may have 10 or 12 of these small kind of roadshow virtual events is really what I'm seeing as the go forward strategy.
Okay. So couple thoughts. So would you say that is this kind of technology, are you seeing it being used mostly by event organizers like BizTech, or
Mhm.
are you seeing it, companies using it for internal events? Or I mean, where has that trend kind of been going for you?
It's been a really nice 50-50 split. Usually you see one side a little bit weighing heavier than the other, but it's really been a very nice split that, especially for in that kind of that corporate market, they're really seeing how they can bring their teams together for those internal events, even in a way that you couldn't be, they didn't think of before because they didn't need to. But when you think about it, most companies, they have remote employees or they have all these disparate offices, just in the United States, throughout the United States. And they would get on a monthly Zoom, something like that, but it was never really personal. They're now seeing that when they do something like this, they're bringing everybody together. And then on the meeting event production companies like a BizTech, they're seeing that, hey, this is upping their game
Right.
because it's a very unique thing that you are now delivering and offering to your clients. And that's the piece that, your expertise working with this platform is something that no other, a company can't just go out and quickly get. They need someone like you to be able to deliver this and deliver it effectively and really hit on whatever their corporate goals are, what their corporate strategy is. And that's what you're going to have the intimate knowledge for the customer as well as the technology. And it's really going to take you kind of to the next level.
Love it. Looks like we need to go meet in the auditorium.
Apparently so, yep.
So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, all right, all right. So let's just walk me through. I reach out to, I have an event. I want to put it on. I don't want it to just be another, just sit on video calls and watch webinars. I want to make it a little bit more exciting. So I reach out to a 3D platform provider like Event Farm, right? Or like Member Suite. And I say, I want to do this. So what's the difference in process of setting up an effective event in a 3D platform
Mhm.
versus setting up an event, let's just say over Zoom? Like
Mhm.
what is there additional planning? Is there, do you have to think about different things? Like what would I do? What would you walk me through?
Yeah, so that's where we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about what are your goals. Is it just a meeting? Is it just kind of a conversation between a couple of people? Or are you looking to have an experience? And that's why I loved what you titled this session of, from memorable experiences. If you want a memorable experience, that's where we're going to start planning, just like we would plan an in real life event. What are your overall goals? What do you want your attendees to walk away with? Meaning, how are they going to view your brand, your image when they walk away from this event? If you have sponsors, if you have exhibitors, what do they need to have? And then probably one of the most important, what is it that the internal sponsors, meaning your boss's boss's boss, what do they need to see as a result of this event? And then we're going to start talking about, okay, how do we deliver that? Do we want to have a party on the beach? Do we want to have, something on the basketball or soccer fields? Do we need to have, these huge sessions within an auditorium? And then we can start structuring it just like we would any other conference or any other event. And that's why I tell people, when you come into our 3D platform, look at it as you're on a site visit. And let's walk through and talk about what your goals are. And then we can pick and arrange and, set the rooms up to meet what those goals are, because we can configure things based on those needs. And then we start talking about branding and all of the fun bells and whistles and, how are we going to communicate with everyone? What is the invitation structure going to look like? How is all of that integrated into our platform? Because with the Event Farm product suite, we have all of that fully integrated. So from the time somebody lands, in their inbox with their invitation, it's all, within that member suite family. And then how do we send them a text message? How do we pull them? How do we make sure we're constantly staying engaged with them and guiding that attendee journey? So we're going to be helping you plan it from the day they get invited all the way through to how do we follow up with them post-event.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Oh, yeah. You said something back there that I'm so curious. What in the world does a 3D event party on the beach look like? Like, I've gotta, you gotta tell me more. You gotta show me, right? Just what is party on the beach?
Let's go for a jog. So that's the fun thing.
Oh yeah, no, and I've played around with the platform, obviously, since we have gotten to know each other and started working together. But it's really interesting to me, just a party on the beach. So talk to me.
So there's no party without boats that you can actually hop in, take a ride, do a fireworks display, turn around, listen to some music if you wanted to have some music on the beach. We can have the balloons falling down. And if you can imagine, we've had hundreds of people hanging out here, watching the fireworks, cheering, clapping, dancing, and just really having a great overall experience. And, I was working on something with a client last night, and, I intentionally left the little tag there, because even right down to putting a badge on someone's chest so they feel like they're really a part of that event experience, it's all that. So, and if you wanted to, you can even walk up and stand on the lighthouse and enjoy the fireworks and party from there.
That is really, really cool. So I guess definitely one advantage to a virtual party on the beach versus a actual party on the beach, the risk of injury and liability much less than
you can actually shake someone's hand and dance and do dance moves that I haven't ever in my life been able to do. So it's all good.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, I'm not a super talented dancer myself, so that makes perfect sense. Okay. Well, now what would you tell someone who sees all this and they're like, yeah, like this seems kind of gimmicky, why you're saying that this is memorable experiences, but really, is it? Like, what would you tell someone who's a little more skeptical?
It all goes into the personality of someone. And my biggest thing is, okay, when you walk away from an event that you just sat through on Zoom, how much of it were you really paying attention to, and how much of it were you also checking email, checking your Slack, checking your Teams, whatever it is in the background?
Right.
And what nuggets did you really come away with? Versus when you're in here and you're moving yourself around, you're actively listening to questions, which one do you think you're going to pay more attention to? When a lot of the interaction you have to do, you actually physically are doing something. So that's going to be one thing. But also, if you're able to, and this is what really hit home for me, was I came to one of the events when I first joined the company, and I ran into 3 people that I had worked with like 5 years before that, and we had lost touch. So when you do that, that's what makes an event fun. I was able to walk over to them and say, hey, we have all these little private conversation zones, and go and talk to them. That event is something memorable, and we were able to reconnect. And we now, because we had lost contact, that's going to create that memorable experience. I'm not going to click through a list of a few hundred people on a Zoom webinar and reconnect with someone. So that's where my challenge would be, is, that is my, true real life experience, that I was happy I was able to have those connections again.
I love it. I love it. I have two other questions here.
Sure.
So one is, let's just start with one at a time. So how many people can you really have at an event on a platform like this?
Great question. So it comes into the planning. We try to recommend that in an area like this, you don't put more than like 750 people in there. And some of it is just, making sure everybody's experience is correct, and they're getting the best sound, they're getting the best view. But you can have people in different locations on the campus all at the same time. So, kind of simultaneous users, I would say no more than, that 5,000 to 7,000 people, just based on the planning ahead of time. And then in an individual space, anywhere from, 5 to 750 people in a given space. 500, to 750. And we can scale that and we can adjust things. But again, it all goes into proper planning, all of that good stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think 500 or 700 people on the beach in real life would be a bit much. So
yes.
those numbers kind of line up with what I would expect in real life.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now, next question. Obviously, Member Suite's been doing this for a while. People are using this for events. You probably get to attend some of these events. You told us about an experience that you'd had early on reconnecting. Tell me about another event or two where it was really memorable. You don't have to give specifics about the company or anything like that, but just maybe talk to me about some more memorable experiences that you've had using a 3D platform for an event.
So one of the big ones that was huge to me was when it was a huge major automobile company that, as the car industry, it still needed to go on. They still needed to order equipment. They still needed to, reach out to their distributors, but they just couldn't, because salespeople couldn't make the sales calls, all of that. So we set up an expo hall, and they were able to bring all of their distributors together across Latin America and have the different people come through, place their orders, and really get back to business. And it was something that was a massive struggle, a massive pain point. And so much so that this has become, to answer, your earlier question, this has now become a strategic way that they're going to be doing business moving forward. So once a quarter, they are now hosting these, sessions where you can come in, see the new parts, see the new pieces, and place your orders. And the sales rep doesn't have to drive from car dealership to car dealership, meeting with people in a time that, they can't really do that. So,
wow.
So yeah. And then another one was just watching an end of the year kind of sales leadership, sales award ceremony be able to take place. And, a lot of people, and I know I'm in sales and you are as well, we look forward to those end of the year or those beginning of the year kickoffs and award ceremonies, and, that being kind of taken away, as well as I've seen graduation ceremonies done in here. And, for young adults as well, that they kind of lost some of that, and being able to see those take place and come back to life, and, how much fun people have that they're able to celebrate their success and the family's success. And yeah, so those two combined in one are the ones that give you goosebumps, make you happy, that you're able to be a part of.
I like that. I like that. So sales, yeah, definitely like an award ceremony. That would be pretty cool. So where, I mean, where in the platform would you do something like that, like an award ceremony? Probably not here on the beach. I mean,
Nope,
you could,
yeah,
but
you could, but where we did it was in the music venue. So
okay.
we had where people were able to come up. The other area, which you guys saw, the other area was in our auditorium. So within here, I'm just going to pop into one real quick. What's nice about our auditoriums is we can actually change the colors to meet the company colors or the school colors. And we can even add a graduation kind of cap so the kids can move their tassels. So they were able to walk across the stage, move their tassel as they graduated, and go through. On the award ceremonies, they had the CEO of the company standing up here and presenting the award, and the person would turn on their camera at home and show their award that they had gotten in the mail, and say a couple things. So it just made it different and fun.
That is
So
different. That is fun. Okay, so last question before we kind of wrap up, and it's actually stemming from just looking right up there at this stage. You've got your three different screens there, and on the middle one, I see the word hybrid. So we've talked about virtual events, and on our show here, we talk to a lot of leaders in the event industry. And one of the topics we keep hearing come up over and over and over and over again is hybrid events. And
mhm.
that and while I'm maybe a little bit split between the future being hybrid versus 3D, I I'm curious, how would you combine the two? How would you combine a
Mhm.
3D event platform with
Mhm.
a hybrid event? Like, what does that look
Mhm.
like?
Yeah. Great question, because we've spent a lot of time really, how do we develop that? Because we're now supporting a lot of our events that are coming back into real life, but you still have a lot of people that there's a huge market of people who just did not do events and conferences, didn't want to go. And now you have people who maybe can't go for travel restrictions, or can't go because, they may have someone who could be potentially immune compromised at home. So we want to still be able to reach them and include them. So what we can do is take things like we're doing today. We're streaming to YouTube, I believe. We can actually take this stream and we can put it directly on one of these screens. So you could have your at-home audience sitting here and watching whatever session is going on in real life, and have it streamed into one of these rooms. Going back to the expo hall, imagine the power of telling your exhibitors, hey, you're not only going to have this in person expo hall, but for all of our, people at home, they're going to be able to come in and they're going to be able to tour this as well. And you can set hours where you can sit down and meet with them too. And you can engage with them. You can set up meetings with them. And then you can have some of those networking sessions. Maybe you have people, there at the in real life event, and you have people at home. We have these, like my office suite. We could set up some one-on-one networking meetings. We can share our cameras in there just as we are here, and connect those people together there as well. So it's all about that. And then, using some of the event farm attendee journey technology and that engagement technology, send the same text messages, out like, hey, this meeting's getting ready to start here at this time, and that goes out to your in-person audience. And this meeting is starting, in auditorium 1 in the virtual campus at this time, and you're going to drive people to the same place. You can send out the same poll to those audiences, really getting them interacting and talking together.
That's actually really cool. I'm sitting here and I'm envisioning what that would be like if I was I was there in person or if I was at home and I couldn't make the in-person event, but I could feel like I was there while it was happening. I think that's really, really cool. So
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much, Candice, for being here.
Thanks.
Maybe maybe just like a last 30 seconds or so, if anything you want to leave the audience with, last thoughts on memorable experiences.
Well, thank you for having me, number one, and it has been a pleasure. But, definitely as you're looking at these, don't let your imagination that you bring to life at the in real life events, know that you can bring it in real life, that imagination into these virtual platforms, and you can build these experiences and have fun with it and just enjoy, and don't think that it's just a checkbox, yep, we had the meeting. No, we can really engage people and show, ROI and have fun. Just to me, that's all what it's all about, is have fun and create an experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like Candice mentioned earlier, BizTech, we use Event Farm for our third party trade shows that we work with clients on. So we're we love it. It really is memorable experiences. It's totally different than just, I guess the old way of doing things, if you want to call it that way. It's really more of a new way of doing things, but it's already old news maybe. So Candice, thanks for being here. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And definitely could see us doing this again sometime. So, but I'll
Absolutely.
likely see you again soon anyway. But thanks for being here. Thanks for talking to our audience. Thanks for showing off the platform. Oh, I love that. It's perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you to our audience for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. And of course, we'll see you again next time for more on the event industry and more biz talk. Thanks so much. Take
Bye.
care.
Thanks, everybody.